Okay, so welcome to Long Island Nightlight LINL Radio interviews. I have a very special guest um, in this session. I'm speaking with MJ. MJ is currently the singer and guitar player of Bad Juju, but she's got a whole history of music and playing in bands to talk about tonight. MJ, just want to give you the chance to say hello to folks and maybe tell us about Bad Juju.
Definitely. Thanks so much, Lou. Hey, everybody. So, as Lou said, I'm MJ, and I got introduced to the original music scene here on Long Island when I started my original band, Night of the Wolves. And I had no idea that there was such a robust original music scene until I embarked on that project. And I met a lot of people, Lou included, and I was just overwhelmed with like the positive reception and the networking. I didn't realize that all of these artists were here locally on Long Island. And I was pleasantly surprised and really enjoyed the whole experience. Um, and after Night of the Wolves, I still kind of wanted to do um, like a cover band project. So then I started this new band called Band JuJu, and we're just a cover band project. We play like 90s pop rock and grunge music. We also throw in like 2000s and modern tunes and 80s tunes. And we've even taken a Taylor Swift song and kind of made it our own.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, and it's been very well received. And we're looking to do a mashup so that we can kind of set ourselves apart. And when people hear us play, they're like, "Oh yeah, I heard that band. They do this awesome mashup, or like they do this cool Taylor Swift cover tune." I just want us to stand out a little bit. That's kind of my goal right now.
Now, you guys, I believe you had a show last weekend, right? Was that in Brightwaters? Is that correct? Or
Yes, we just had a show on Saturday night in Brightwaters at the Brightwaters Inn. I had
okay,
never been there before. And honestly, the place was awesome. The space was great. The staff was amazing. They have this really wonderful outdoor space with like stamped concrete, really nice lighting. The crowd was great. They have a really good local scene. So a lot of people show up. They have the same people that come all the time. And our music was really well received. We had people up and dancing, everybody was singing. There's a pizzeria across the street, and people were coming because they heard the music. So they were coming over and they wanted to see what was going on. So
that's
that
great.
made me feel really good. Yeah, it was awesome.
Sounds like you'll be back there at some point.
I hope so. I thought it was great. I would go back every month if they'd let us.
Yeah, oh, great. Oh, awesome. I'm glad
Yeah.
it was a good experience. Now, that was, I think, was that like your guys' second show or third show, something like that?
Yes, that was our second show. So we're a very new cover band. We've only had 4 rehearsals, but all seasoned musicians, and we all seem to work really well together. And I think that really helps us play to our strengths. We're able to follow each other, and it's just an awesome experience. We're having a lot of fun, and then we feed off of the energy of the crowd. It makes for a
Cool.
really great experience.
Awesome. Okay, I'm glad to hear that that's going well.
Thank you.
Um, I think, I was like checking out, like I said, I try to do my homework a little bit before these interviews. So it looks like, you sing and play guitar. I think you have a second guitar player, a bass player, and a drummer. Is that the instrumentation or?
Yes. So I do rhythm guitar and lead vocals. And then I have Christy, who does lead guitar. And we have Lisa, who is on bass guitar. And we have Scott on the drum kit. And I met Lisa and Christy through an all female, like alt rock jam. And it was put together as a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. That was back in, I think, March. And if it weren't for that experience, we would have never met each other.
That was
Val,
at the village. Was that at the village pub or in
that
Linden?
yes, yep, that was at the
Yeah.
Village
See,
Pub.
I like to try to know what's going on. So
Yeah, totally. So that was at the Village Pub, and Valerie Rose put that together, and she's another local musician. She tours and plays all over, not just on Long Island, but down the East Coast all the way down to Florida. She's always gigging. And her goal for that whole thing, like, yes, it was a fundraising opportunity, but she wanted to show that there was a prominent presence of female musicians on Long Island, and she wanted to try and connect everybody and give them an opportunity to network. And we really took that to the max, and now we have 3 females from that day, from that whole show, and we're in a band together. And she came out to the Bright Waters Inn for us on Saturday and showed up to support.
Oh,
Yeah, it was awesome. I didn't know she was going to come. And she had a gig that day and she showed up after. And she just said that, that was exactly what she envisioned: women meeting each other, being able to network, and then formulate like musical bonds together. So we really just kind of embodied her whole vision for that day. And I'm
awesome.
really happy that we could be a part of that.
No, that's great. I mean, I'd like to have more of a female presence on the radio station too. I have some female artists, but you're the first female that I'm interviewing, so hopefully that'll pave the way for more ladies to get involved with LINL radio too. So
Definitely. I'm happy to kind of be a trailblazer, and I'll spread the word and let everybody else know, like, hey, reach out to Lou,
oh
you
yeah,
know.
okay, I appreciate that. That would be awesome.
Of course.
Now I've listened to your music a lot. You guys, speaking about Night of the Wolves, you were one of the early contributors to the station with your original music, and I appreciate that so much. When the station was beginning, it was a handful of bands, and it was some classical music and some blues music because that was free. No copyright stuff, and
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys contributing. And when I listen to you sing, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but have you had vocal training in your life? Because that's what I hear when I listen to your music.
Yes, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So I've been singing since I was a child, and I went to school for music. I went to school for vocal performance, and my goal was always to have like teach at a collegiate level and have a vocal studio. Life kind of throws you curveballs and you meander a little bit. But now I found music again with like songwriting and my original band, which was really something that I really needed. Music has always been a part of my life, and for a little while it wasn't there. And then I found it again, and I made it a prominent part of everything going on in my everyday. Songwriting was always something I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to approach. Like as a vocalist, I wasn't predominantly an instrumentalist, so I didn't know how to approach songwriting. And then over the course of the past 4 years, I picked up guitar, and guitar really helped me and opened up that whole realm of songwriting capabilities for me. And that's what happened. Like I would just kind of start strumming, um, and like a chord progression would come to me and then lyrics would come and I'd put it all together and I wrote my first full song, and after that everything kind of took off. So
Also,
yeah, that's kind of what happened. And then I met Wolf Dog in a cover band project that I was trying to be a part of, but it wasn't going anywhere. And the two of us quickly realized that we were like-minded individuals. We were both motivated, driven, and we wanted the project to go somewhere, but everybody else was just kind of content playing in a garage, you know?
mhm.
So we maintained contact. He started sending me um, audio files back and forth, and I would record vocals for it. And that's pretty much how Night of the Wolf started. And after that, we got an invitation from a band on social media to play with them. And we were a duo at that point. And that's how we met our drummer. He heard our
Oh,
music and he was like, yeah, he was like, I'm hearing drum parts in my head. If you
oh, nice.
send me song files, would you be okay with me writing drum parts? And so inside I was like freaking out, like, oh my God, we're gonna get a drummer. And on the outside, I was like, oh yeah, that would be totally cool. Of course. I was trying to, like you try to play really cool, really coy. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And over a
Yeah.
weekend, he sent us like professionally recorded drum tracks for 3 songs. And they were incredible.
He's a real quality drummer.
Oh, 100%. He's an amazing musician because he's not only a drummer,
Oh,
he plays guitar, he kind of plays bass as well. He can do backing vocals when needed. So he's like the full package.
cool.
He's a good guy.
It's
Yeah.
it's funny because sometimes the projects that don't go anywhere, they go sideways to something that does. I had the same
Yeah.
experience with Native Son too. I'm not going to talk. This is I'm interviewing you, not myself.
No, that's
But I could definitely relate to that where you're in a project and it's not going anywhere, but there's one person that you hit it off with, and then you end up doing something productive with them. So
exactly.
cool.
And I think in the local music scene, that seems to happen more often than not. Like I wasn't really sure like how everything went. I didn't perform um like rock music and things like that and original music when I was younger. I was really just kind of focused on classical music and jazz standards. So like I'd perform out with a piano player at like an Italian restaurant, and we'd perform like jazz standards and things like that. But so this is a whole other animal. And I learned pretty quickly that, you know, musicians are, you have your good musicians, and some people can be a little flaky.
Hmm.
It's difficult to navigate. You have to really be able to read people and understand, quickly if they're going to be a good fit for what it is that you're looking to do, and if they're going to be in it for the long haul or not, you know?
I'm curious about your classical music experience because I mean, folks may not know this about me, but that's probably what I listen to the most, on my own. I trained on piano with a classical instructor, excuse me, when I was young. So I'm just, and if there's anything more you want to add about that, I definitely, I'd be really super interested in that.
Definitely. So when I was young, I had a vocal coach when I was like about 12 or 13, and I started singing classical repertoire, basically Italian art song. And then
Oh,
yeah, and I loved that. I really love languages. I love the different sounds because the English language can be a little like muddled and
getting funky.
kind of, yeah, and almost like clunky or crude. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But foreign languages, like as far as the phonetic alphabet goes, like they have very definitive sounds for
Sure.
each vowel, and I love that. Um, and when I went to college, I took Italian for 2 semesters, and that really helped me with my diction, my enunciation, and everything. And I dove into Italian art song and the Italian operatic realm for a while. And then I really loved German art song, German lead. I love the sound of the language. It's like crunchier and crisper. It's very different than the I can't think of the word.
Romance.
Than, like yeah, like
Romance.
than the romantic languages like French and Italian. German is a lot like harsher. It's harsher, but I love that sound of the consonants and everything. And I ended up doing my thesis for my degree on French art song
Oh,
because
cool.
for me personally, I feel like French was kind of like the bridge between the Italian and the German. So French is still like very lyrical as far as the vocal lines go and the language itself goes. But it still has a little bit of that crispness to the diction. And I loved that. So that was kind of my favorite thing.
I love. I mean, I'm a 100% Italian, but I love the French language the most. I don't understand it quite well, but I've said before, if I heard somebody recite their shopping list in French, it would sound beautiful to me. I just
Right?
love the language.
It's true. Yeah, like
So
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I took French in high school, and I do not remember a lot of the language itself, but I could pronounce it like I was
okay,
from France.
right, right. I have a friend on X, or Twitter, as it's known, X now,
Yeah.
who lives in the south of France, and he's been trying to teach me through social media a little bit here. So um,
That's cool.
yeah, but I love the language. I just think it's so beautiful. So
It really is. I agree with you. It's gorgeous. And it's very like mouth forward. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
uh,
German is
it
a little, yeah,
probably means I have
German's
a
a
hard
little
time
back of the
speaking
mouth.
it,
It,
but
yeah, it's true.
yeah.
Oh, that's very
Um,
cool.
yeah, getting back to your songwriting, so you sent me the song "Never Let Go," which for folks who are not viewing the video but not viewing the interview but hearing it on Lionel Radio, I'm going to follow up the interview with MJ's song "Never Let Go." Um, there are a lot of nice harmonies in it, so maybe you could talk about how you go about doing that. Did you self-record that? Did you have someone else produce that, or?
Yeah. So, as I said, I'm new to songwriting and to recording, and Never Let Go is the first song that I recorded on my own. I bought an iRig, which is basically a recording interface, and it's a single interface, so I can plug either a microphone or a guitar into it and record. And I wrote this song, and I wanted to record it, and I was just like, you know what, let's just go for it. So I recorded. I'm big into finger picking. I love the sound of it, and it's not like a strength of mine, but it's definitely a goal of mine.
That's
I
nice.
just I just love it. I think it's beautiful. So I wrote this beautiful little like finger picking line, and I came up with a vocal line to accompany it. And once I laid that initial finger picking track and then the vocal track, I said to myself, well, I could kind of do like a bass line to accompany it and make it a full song. So I started to do that. I recorded that track, and then I layered some harmonies behind it. And I also added like some echo effect just to make it sound full and, like you said, like professionally produced.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I wouldn't have guessed that this was like an initial recording by you.
100%. I swear to God, that was the first song I ever did on my own. I
Great.
Thank you. I layered all the parts on my own. I recorded most of it in my bedroom closet just because
Oh,
it
yeah.
was quiet.
Yeah.
But it was a learning experience for me. I quickly realized that, like when you're playing, um, your first take isn't always your best take, and you have to stop and start over and over to get that perfect take. So it was a labor of love, and I'm hoping to release like an EP, maybe by the end of September, with 5 to 7 songs, and just that same kind of vibe of solo acoustic stuff, maybe some finger picking in the background, a little bit of a bass line, and some uh, harmonies in the back.
Well, I mean, I know at least one radio station that would be happy to play it.
I
So
appreciate it. Thank you, Lou. You're
another thing is,
awesome.
if I seem distracted, there's something flying around in here, and then one of my cats has intruded on the interview. So I'm just
Oh
giving
no.
you a heads up.
Oh, what's
Yeah.
his name?
This is Danny.
Danny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Let me.
Danny. Now I need to see him.
Okay. This is Danny.
Oh wow, is he a Maine Coon?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, he's a
Gorgeous.
rescue. I believe so. He's got a lot of the characteristics. So
Aw.
that's his first appearance on an interview too. So
Yay! Welcome, Danny.
So, um,
Oh,
but
cool.
yeah, so yeah, like I said, the song sounds beautiful, and since we've been talking about, like I said, it would be a nice follow up for the audio of the interview.
Sure.
We'll go right into that so folks can hear what we're talking about. I think I have like two more questions for you. Like one is, who, like, you have been doing music since you were very young and everything. Like, what is it a family thing? Were you inspired by an artist or someone that you know? Like, where did the inspiration come from?
Sure. So when I was growing up, my father went to the Crane School of Music for music education, and he was formally trained in brass and woodwind instruments.
Oh,
But
cool.
then when I was little, I didn't go into band at all. I played the violin, so I kind of
Oh,
went against the grain, but I was still in music. So my father is definitely a big inspiration. And as far as musicians go, I would have to say Hailstorm and Lizzie Hale, um,
okay.
huge inspiration for me. I think first and foremost because she's a woman fronting a band, and
Hmm.
that resonated for me. A lot of bands these days are typically like male fronted, so to see a female fronted rock band was really cool. And I love like the vast array of their musical styles. Like they have some heavy hitting tunes, and then they have some really, really gorgeous ballads. And, Lizzie plays the guitar and sings, and then she also does the keyboards.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and I think that's kind of nice to see as well. Like she can kind of bring it down, and she has that really nice contrast of being able to be like a hardcore vocalist and guitar player and also have the ability to play the keyboards. So I
Yeah.
really like that.
Yeah. No, I have a little experience. I think I can't remember the exact title of the song, but I think I played one of their tunes before on keyboard, and I thought it was pretty cool. But it's escaping me right now which
Yeah.
which song it was. And then I guess the last thing is just like, what's next? What's next for Bad Juju, and what's next for you personally? I mean, you talked about the EP you recorded. Do you have like more song ideas for that EP, or you starting to develop that, or?
I do actually. I think I have about 6 songs right now. One of them I wrote, things just kind of come to me and I let it just kind of come. It's like stream of consciousness. A friend of mine, unfortunately, her father passed away,
Sorry.
and thank you. And that that kind of hit me hard. And I wanted to be able to do something for her, and that came out in a song. So I ended up writing a song for her and for her family, and
Nice.
that's going to be a part of the EP. Um,
Cool.
yeah, thank you. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Like music embodies life, and life has all of these different facets, like the highs, the lows, the happy things, the sad things, and that the catalyst for that one song may be kind of melancholy and sad, but I would hope that it can bring peace to somebody, you know?
I'm sure. I'm sure it will.
Thank you.
And where can we expect to see Bad Juju? You guys working on some more shows, or?
Yeah, we have a gig lined up for September 20th at TC Cross's brand new location,
Oh yeah.
Whiskey Rocks.
Okay,
So
yeah,
we'll
it's
be
funny.
there.
The interview that I did last night, part of it took place there,
Get out of
because
here.
a
That's so
gentleman who
cool.
bartends there is in a band, and he was there while we were talking. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, he was talking about the stage being built and everything. He said it's like coming out excellent. So
I can't wait. TC said it's supposed to be bigger than Village Pub.
yeah,
So I'm just excited to see the space and the location and what it's like. She
yeah,
always does a really good job. Village Pub, her sound guy is awesome. The stage is great. And you always get a good crowd. So
it's
I'm
supposed to
excited.
a bigger stage than a village pub, from what I was told. So
That's what I heard too.
yeah,
Sounds very cool
that's
and
funny
very
though. How
promising.
it all kind of comes together like that.
True, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you definitely have to tell your drummer Scott that I said hello. As you know, he and I go way back. So
Very cool. I will definitely tell him that you said what's up.
yeah, we played a gig or two together in the past. You got a real quality drummer and a real quality person there. So
It shows. He's such a good musician and he's a great addition to the band. I'm so happy to have him.
yeah, that's great. That's awesome. As far as my questions and everything like that. I mean, I don't have much more to add, but I just want to give you time and space. If there's you want to give a shout out, you want to tell anyone where to find your music, any kind, you want to, more details about that gig, anything that you want to add, feel free to do that.
Sure. So once again, I'm MJ or Megan, and you know, uh, I'm recording an original EP for acoustic vocal performances. I'm in the band Night of the Wolves, and you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm also in the cover band Bad JuJu, Long Island, and you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at that name as well.
TC's new place is in Babylon, I think.
I'm sorry?
TC's new place is in Babylon.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll be playing there at Whiskey Rocks on September 20th.
Okay, cool.
And we're still looking to line up other gigs, but we had a great time at Brightwater's Inn. So if any of you happen to see any local bands that are playing there, I recommend you go. It's awesome. The staff is amazing. The space is great. The vibe is awesome. We had the best time. We had such
there's pizza across the street. So
and there's pizza across the street.
yeah. Yeah, that got my attention before.
It's true. I'm not kidding though. So like the people at the pizzeria, they heard the music and they were just like coming over and chilling with us. We had the best time. It was
Cool.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that. And I'm looking forward to seeing your band out there, personally when I.
Thank you. And one last thing, Valerie Rose, she's another local musician. She put together the Women's Alt Rock Jam, and it's going to be a yearly benefit now.
Oh.
And it's going to be happening again, I believe, this March. And she's hoping it's going to be bigger, better, at a bigger venue, more women, because this year there were about 30 female musicians incorporated into that. She's looking to grow it to more than that.
Cool.
And be able to cultivate relationships and see if more bands can evolve based on that grouping. So, check back on social media, on my page, Valerie's page, your page.
If I could be of help at the radio station in promoting that, just let me know. Just say the word.
That would be great. Thank you so much, Lou.
Of course. All right, MJ, thank you, for the conversation. And, I really enjoyed talking to you tonight. Like I said earlier, if you just hang out for a second, I'm just going to sign off with the audience and then I'll say goodnight to you separately. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Lou. I appreciate it.
Of course. All right. So folks, that's our interview with MJ. You can, of course, you can view this on my YouTube channel. Please leave a comment, a like, subscribe to it. You can also see it on the LINL webpage. And the audio will be playing on the weekend mornings on LINL Radio, followed by MJ's latest songwriting effort, Never Let Go. All right. So thanks again, MJ. Thank you, anyone viewing and listening. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me, Lou.